Colonel Diana Wells could have passed for any other exhausted traveler in seat 8, a wool blanket up to her chin. Head tilted toward the dark, oval window nobody guessed she was a decorated F-16 pilot. The kind who'd flown 200 combat missions and carried scars nobody could see. Outside, the lights of Greenville vanished into the Alaskan night, and the engines of Flight 447 hummed their steady tune, comforting Diana in a way that only someone who'd lived with afterburners and flak jackets would understand. Most of the passengers were escaping to warmer places for Thanksgiving, and Diana had picked this seat for one reason. The engine's rumble dulled memories that still haunted her sleep. She just spent 3 days visiting her father the same old questions about when she'd settle down, when she'd leave behind the danger for something safe and ordinary. Diana never told him about the nightmares, about how loud noises still made her jump. He'd worried enough. As the jet leveled at 37,000 feet, Captain Andrew Taylor's voice came over the speakers. Only Diana caught the edge in his tone, a hint of strain that other passengers missed. The captain was tired, maybe worse. In the cockpit, Taylor rubbed his chest, dismissing the pain as indigestion to First Officer Nicole Barnes, who watched him with concern. Nicole was young 26, newly promoted, careful, eager to learn, but still green on the 777. Back in 8A, Diana tried to drift off. She remembered her first solo in an F-16. The taste of pure freedom before war made flying a matter of survival. Her thoughts faded until the voice of a little boy in row 12 cut through the cabin. Alex Taylor, the captain's own son, flying alone for Thanksgiving with his grandparents. Not far away, 78-year-old Eleanor Hughes read her paperback. Sharp-eyed from a lifetime spent in aircraft factories during World War II. In 22C, Dr. Charles Wilson, a cardiologist, dozed with his medical bag by his side, never traveled without it. As the flight settled, Diana finally let sleep take her. But in the cockpit, Captain Taylor's pain sharpened. Nicole watched as he grew pale. His breathing labored. When Taylor slumped forward, unable to speak, Nicole's training kicked in. Seattle Center, this is Flight 447, declaring a medical emergency. Captain is incapacitated. First Officer assuming command. Radios crackled from Alaska to Seattle as controllers moved into high alert. Nicole now bore responsibility for 284 souls. She scanned weather radar, saw storms building, and heard the distant echo of her own heartbeat as turbulence began to shake the jet. In the cabin, the seasoned crew chief in Diana woke her before the worst bumps. Margaret, the lead flight attendant, moved quickly but calmly, prepping her team, locking down galleys, sharing coded glances. Passengers started to notice Kevin O'Brien in 8B, sharp-eyed business traveler, felt the course changes and checked the seatbelt sign. Eleanor Hughes sensed trouble from the crew's body language. Alex Taylor's nerves grew with every flash of lightning outside his window. Margaret reassured him. Pilots are very good at keeping us safe. But Alex kept watching for signs. Nicole requested direct routing to Seattle, but storms blocked the way. She admitted to controllers that this was her first time as sole pilot on a wide-body jet. Her voice cracked but didn't break. In the main cabin, Diana's instincts screamed at her. She pressed the call button. Margaret came to her side. "I have aviation experience," Diana whispered, reading the fear behind Margaret's professional smile. "Retired Air Force Colonel. Combat pilot. I can help." Within moments, Diana was headed to the cockpit, her own anxiety buried beneath duty and adrenaline. Nicole's relief was immediate. Diana slipped into the observer seat and assessed the situation, weather closing in, fuel burning faster, a critical medical emergency in the left seat, a rookie first officer facing down a wall of thunderstorms. There's a gap in the storm line. 30 degrees, right? Diana pointed out. It's tight, but we can thread it. Nicole trusted her guidance, requested the deviation, and, together, they flew through the narrow passage as the jet shuddered but stayed on course. Inside, passengers waited, some with worry, some in disbelief. Judge Barbara Lane, in first class, quietly watched the crew's every move, her legal mind cataloging the chain of command. Rachel Green rocked her infant daughter, worrying about the interview waiting in Seattle, more anxious now about simply landing safely. The gap worked. Turbulence faded, and Nicole's hands, though shaking, remained steady on the controls. Diana rebuilt her confidence, checklist by checklist, procedure by procedure. When Nicole doubted herself, Diana told her, "You're scared. So was I the first time I flew a combat mission with lives depending on me. But you're doing everything right." Approach clearance came, weather clearing. Runway 16 are ready. Emergency crews standing by. Nicole flew by the book. Diana watching. Reassuring. Margaret made the announcement. Medical emergency involving a crew member. Aircraft operating normally. Routine landing expected. Passengers stirred. Some relieved, some even more nervous. But now they knew what was at stake. Gear down. Flaps set. Glide slope alive. Diana reminded Nicole. A slightly firmer landing is better. Let emergency crews see we're safe and on the runway. The jet touched down smoother than most routine flights. Nicole's nerves giving way to professionalism and training. Paramedics rushed aboard. Dr. Wilson updated them on Captain Taylor's condition, and the cabin erupted in applause, not just relief, but genuine gratitude. Diana stayed to make sure Nicole understood what she'd accomplished. "You saved 284 lives tonight," she told her, refusing to let Nicole downplay her role. The investigation and paperwork would come, but nothing could change the fact that, when tested, both women rose to the occasion. Over the next weeks, ripple effects spread. Nicole's performance accelerated her training. Captain Taylor recovered, grateful for a second chance with his son. Diana, after debriefings and long talks with her old commander, found a new calling with Pacific Northwest search and rescue. Her military experience, now serving to save lives in the wilds of Alaska and the Pacific Northwest. Eleanor, Kevin, Alex, and the rest of the passengers carried the story home, reminded that heroism often travels in civilian clothes, waiting for the right moment. 6 months later, Diana soared above the mountains again, this time with a new team, new purpose, the same old courage. And Nicole, promoted to captain, flew her first command, texting Diana before takeoff. That night changed everything. "Thank you." Diana smiled, knowing that sometimes it takes a crisis at 35,000 feet to remind you who you are and what you're capable of, especially when the world least expects it. If this story inspired you, don't forget to subscribe, because next time, who knows who might be sitting beside you at 37,000 feet.